In Central Florida right now, affordable housing is a myth. Rents are up 30%, and the big developers aren't coming to save us. They're too busy building $500,000 luxury townhomes in the suburbs. But while everyone else was complaining, one Sanford woman named Kim Fogle actually did something about it. She didn't wait for a government grant or a billionaire investor. She cashed out her entire 401k, 30 years of retirement savings from her insurance career, and decided to build a neighborhood herself. She'd never done anything like this before, but today her experiment is the only reason 20 local families aren't living in their cars. Washington, D.C. has taken notice. What Kim did with her life savings is now the blueprint for a brand new federal law called the Housing for the 21st Century Act. If you wondered why your kids can't afford a house in the town they grew up in, this story is the reason things are finally about to change. We talk a lot about units and inventory, but let's talk about people. Before Kim built the Sanford Courtyard at 1021 East 2nd Street, she spent years volunteering at local shelters. She saw a gap that should scare all of us. People who work full-time but still can't afford a roof. Take David Mullen. Before he moved here, David was living in a recovery center, sharing a cramped room with 3 other people. He was stuck. Today, he's the unofficial super of the Courtyard. He's got his own 2-bedroom apartment. Kim even bought him his own leaf blower because he takes so much pride in keeping the grounds clean. He went from stuck to having a real stake in his community. Then there's the mother next door. When she moved in, she sat in her living room and cried. It was the first time her teenage son had ever had a Christmas tree of his own. Take a moment with that. That is what dignified housing actually means. 34% of the people living here were on the literal edge of homelessness. They don't qualify for public assistance, but they can't afford a $2,200 a month apartment either. They're what researchers call the ALICE population. Asset limited, income constrained, but employed. They're baristas, or mechanics, or daycare workers. Without them, Sanford doesn't function. So how did a woman with no construction experience build this? She found a gap. This lot is 0.42 acres. Most developers wouldn't look at it because you can't fit a 100-unit complex here. But Kim saw a space for 3 small buildings, quadplexes. By building infill on land the big guys ignored, she kept her costs down. She didn't cut corners either. Granite countertops, stainless steel, energy-efficient windows. She negotiated every detail personally. By keeping construction efficient and the location walkable to downtown, she's able to keep the rent $500 to $700 below market rent. But it wasn't easy. She fought through COVID shutdowns, skyrocketing lumber prices, and months of city permits. She survived it, but the government realized most people won't. And that is why the law is changing. The Housing for the 21st Century Act just passed the House in a Congress that can't agree on much of anything. 390 members voted yes, and only 9 voted no. That tells you how serious this problem is. The bill does 3 things to help you do what Kim did. First, the pattern book. The federal government is giving grants to cities like Sanford to create catalogs of pre-approved designs. If you pick a quadplex from the book, the city can't fight you for 6 months on the design. It's essentially a green light for small developers. Second, the Chassis Repeal. It gets rid of old laws that made modular homes look like trailers. Now you can use factory-built sections that look like $1 million, but cost 30% less to assemble. Third, the single stair rule. It sounds boring, but it's huge. It allows apartments to have windows on both sides of the building. Better air, better light, and lower cooling bills for the families inside. Kim Fogle proved you don't need to be a billionaire to save a neighborhood. You just need a vision and the courage to act on it. The door she kicked open is now standing wide for anyone who wants to stop complaining about the housing crisis and actually start building the solution. I went looking for the next Sanford Courtyard. I found a lot right here on French Avenue that's almost an exact match for what Kim started with. It's for sale, it's got owner financing, and with these new laws, the numbers on it are compelling. My next video breaks down the entire step-by-step, the costs, the zoning, the exact plans you need to build your own 10-unit community. This has been Tom McNamara, your Florida Real Estate Insider. I'll see you in the next one.